So the WNBA expansion draft is happening soon, and every team has already submitted the players that they have to.
Did the Indiana Fever just derail their own future with one reckless decision? In what's being called one of the most shocking missteps in recent WNBA history, a swiftly deleted social media post may have unintentionally revealed the franchise's full strategy for the upcoming expansion draft, and the implications are massive. According to the leaked post, the Fever are reportedly protecting a player who has stirred internal controversy, while leaving a beloved hometown favorite completely exposed. That choice alone has ignited outrage, but the real damage goes deeper. This wasn't a harmless technical error or an accidental scheduling slip. This was a high-stakes digital fumble with multi-million-dollar consequences, potentially compromising years of roster planning and competitive momentum. Fans are reeling, insiders are stunned, and rivals are already circling. The core question now isn't just about damage control, it's about survival. Did Indiana's front office just hand over a rising star to their fiercest competition, all because of a preventable error? And if so, what does that say about the leadership steering this franchise forward?
The Indiana Fever might be making a huge mistake. Again, this is a might because you just never know. You never know when it comes to things like this, because you don't know how players pan out. You don't know. Maybe you're overrating a player, maybe you're underrating a player, but it's always kind of hard to tell when it comes to young players.
To truly understand how devastating this could be, you have to first grasp just how unforgiving the WNBA expansion draft really is. It's not just a routine roster shuffle, it's a ruthless, league-sanctioned talent raid. Designed to give a brand new franchise, in this case, the rising powerhouse known as the Golden State Valkyries, an immediate competitive edge, the draft forces every existing team into an impossible position. Each of the 12 current franchises is allowed to protect only 6 players. Just 6. Everyone else? They're fair game. Their contracts, futures, and loyalty are suddenly dangling in the open, ripe for the taking. It's a calculated and cold process, one that leaves no room for error or sentiment. The Valkyries will build their first ever roster by selecting a single unprotected player from every team, one by one, like elite predators choosing from a carefully exposed pool of talent. No team escapes untouched. And for the Indiana Fever, a squad that's clawed its way out of years of obscurity and finally started to look like a serious contender, this could not be happening at a worse time. They're no longer rebuilding. They're on the brink of something real. But in this brutal game of roster chess, a single misstep could cost them everything they've worked to build.
If I was the Indiana Fever, I would genuinely want to protect Grace Berger, because I think Grace Berger I think in the modern WNBA, Grace Berger is going to be such a good...
Caitlin Clark's arrival in Indiana hasn't just shifted the landscape, it's detonated it. Her impact isn't merely about stats or wins, it's a full-blown cultural and economic shockwave. What's now being called the Caitlin Clark effect has rippled far beyond the court, lifting the entire WNBA into a new era of visibility, profitability, and influence. Since her debut, Clark has transformed the Fever into a headline act and the league into must-watch television. Revenue has surged. Ticket demand has exploded. And national broadcasts featuring Indiana have shattered previous viewership records. In fact, analysts estimate that Clark alone is responsible for generating over 25% of all WNBA revenue, a figure that, according to early 2025 projections, could push her total economic impact close to $1 billion. Merchandise sales? Up more than 500%. Fever game viewership? Tripled, with no signs of slowing down. She's not just a player, she's an engine powering the league's most explosive growth in history. In this new reality, where one athlete can drive the value of an entire sports franchise, maybe even an entire league, every decision surrounding her carries enormous weight. Every roster move, every contract negotiation, every lineup shift is no longer just a coaching choice. It's a financial and cultural calculation, unfolding under the unblinking eyes of sponsors, networks, and millions of fans around the world.
A 95% chance the Golden State Valkyries select Grace Berger. She is young. She's like 24 maybe? She is a 6-foot tall point guard. She can shoot the ball. She led the W in 3-point percentage 2 seasons ago. And she's also can handle, she can pass, she can defend.
It all began with what seemed like a harmless post, a promotional graphic showing new head coach Stephanie White, smiling confidently alongside 6 players. But in seconds, that image sent shockwaves across the league. The names flanking her weren't random. They looked unmistakably like Indiana's protected list for the WNBA expansion draft. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Nalissa Smith, Lexi Hull, and surprisingly, veteran forward Temi Fagbenle. The post disappeared almost instantly, but not fast enough. Screenshots circulated like wildfire, and what was once speculation became a confirmed crisis. In today's digital world, nothing vanishes without a trace. And in this case, the trace was damning. At first glance, 3 of the names made perfect sense. Clark is the league's new face, a once-in-a-generation talent who's redefining the ceiling of women's basketball. Aaliyah Boston, the reigning 2023 Rookie of the Year, has become her ideal counterpart in the paint. And Kelsey Mitchell, the reliable veteran and floor general, is the team's emotional backbone and offensive anchor. Those 3 are non-negotiable. They're the pillars on which Indiana's future is being built. Lexi Hull's inclusion sparked debate, but insiders know her value runs deep. She's not a box score star, she's a defensive specialist, a high IQ player whose on-ball pressure and off-ball awareness make her essential in tight matchups. Her synergy with Clark and willingness to do the dirty work make her the kind of glue player that holds championship rosters together. But then things got messy. NaLyssa Smith's talent is undeniable, a versatile forward with the tools to become elite. But off the court, the tension has been building. After a crushing playoff loss, Smith scrubbed all Fever references from her social media, signaling discontent. That was followed by cryptic posts from her girlfriend, a rival WNBA player, including the now infamous hashtag #FreeHer. Whispers of trade demands and locker room friction have grown louder by the day. Still, the team chose to protect her, a move that feels like a high-stakes gamble on a player who may no longer want to stay. Then there's Temi Fagbenle. A respected veteran, no doubt, but her inclusion raised more questions than answers. With only 6 protection spots, every decision carries weight. Prioritizing a role player over younger, high-upside talent has baffled analysts and sparked outrage from fans who see it as a serious misstep in asset management. But it's who was left off the list that has ignited the firestorm. Grace Berger, former first-round pick, Indiana University legend, and hometown favorite, was nowhere to be found. For many, it was a gut punch. Berger isn't just a promising player, she's a symbol. A connection between the community and the franchise. She's shown flashes of star potential and represents the exact type of young, cost-efficient talent teams are desperate to retain, especially with a looming media rights deal expected to spike league revenues and the salary cap. Letting a player like Berger walk for nothing? That's not just a basketball mistake. That's a franchise-altering error with financial, cultural, and competitive consequences. It's the equivalent of burning a lottery ticket in the middle of a gold rush. And make no mistake, that's where the WNBA is headed. A new media deal is on the horizon, one that could quadruple the league's annual revenue. In this coming landscape, rookie contracts and homegrown stars become premium assets. Losing Berger, a young, talented guard with fan loyalty baked in, could cost Indiana more than just wins. It could cost them millions in long-term flexibility and momentum. The Golden State Valkyries, the expansion team ready to pounce, aren't building the slow, steady way. They're backed by Silicon Valley money, armed with advanced analytics, and laser-focused on immediate impact. They're not here to grow quietly. They're here to dominate, and Berger could be the exact kind of undervalued gem they're waiting to steal. The backlash came fast and fierce. #ProtectGraceBerger trended nationwide. Indiana's social feeds were flooded with angry fans demanding answers. And in a strange twist, Caitlin Clark's father posted, then quickly deleted, a cryptic tweet hinting at internal confusion or disapproval. It was a moment that took the drama from front office blunder to full-blown PR nightmare. Sports history is filled with expansion draft missteps that haunted franchises for years. The Fever have spent nearly a decade climbing out of the league's basement. To fumble now, on the verge of contention, would be more than a miscalculation, it would be a collapse. Still, a shadow of doubt remains. Could this have all been intentional? A deliberate leak designed to mislead the Valkyries? Some insiders suggest it could be a strategic feint, a smokescreen to drive up trade value or conceal a last-minute pivot. The idea of a calculated leak might sound far-fetched, but in the modern WNBA, where media, money, and maneuvers intersect constantly, nothing can be ruled out. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain, the damage is real. Players are shaken. Sponsors are watching closely. Trust, once fractured, is hard to repair. What began as a single, deleted graphic has unraveled into a full-scale crisis, one that has exposed the razor-thin line between bold strategy and outright failure. Now, the Fever stand at a crossroads. In one version of the future, they are remembered for a spectacular misstep that cost them a core piece of their rebuild. In another, they're praised for playing a deeper game, one the rest of the league didn't see coming. But the clock is ticking. The expansion draft is fast approaching. And every front office in the WNBA is watching, waiting to see whether Indiana just blundered into disaster, or outmaneuvered everyone in the most dramatic twist yet. This story isn't over. If anything, it's just getting started.